Free-to-play games have grown in popularity in recent years, and it's easy to see why. They're great time sinks, and they've gotten so good that you'll never feel shackled for not spending actual money on them. From military to sci-fi to fantasy to FPS games to MMORPGs to card battlers, it turns out that Zero can get you a lot in the realm of free-to-play games, and that certain classics are accessible at the lowest possible price. These are well-made games that suit literally every type of PC gamer, from cultural phenomenons like Fortnite to all-time classics like Team Fortress 2. We've listed some of the finest free games, including what you can expect when you play and why we think each one is worth your time. Some of these free games are available on Steam, while others are only available on the Epic Games Store, and yet others can only be downloaded from the game's own website. All of them are definitely worth your time, so put your credit card away, sit down in your favorite gaming chair, grab a keyboard, mouse, battle stick or gamepad, and let the gaming begin. Do you want to be kept up to date on the latest gaming industry news and releases? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and click on the bell button for the most up-to-date information on all things gaming. Fortnite. No matter how you slice it, Fortnite is a battle royale phenomenon, having grown from an underwhelming third-person shooter to one of the world's biggest and most recognizable brands. Epic Games has accomplished something truly remarkable here. Fortnite has evolved into much more than a game. It has evolved into a metaverse, a digital space where players can gather to play, create, and witness virtual events that continue to push the boundaries of what is possible in an online environment. Epic Games has been able to push things further than anyone else thanks to the massive popularity of the Battle Royale shooter, and it really shows. While it isn't the genre's most mechanically satisfying title, it makes up for it with sheer ambition. Although it has been overshadowed by a divisive public image, Fortnite remains one of the best Battle Royale experiences on the market, and judging by its current trajectory, and it is poised to be much more in the years ahead. Fortnite started out as a story-driven multiplayer shooter in which you and your friends battled hordes of strange enemies. It has a distinct personality, but it was unable to reach a larger audience. This all changed with the introduction of PUBG and the widespread acceptance of Battle Royale. Epic Games saw an opportunity to turn their underwhelming shooter into a Battle Royale clone and seized it, and it hasn't looked back since. Before millions of players showed up, eager to master this addictive new formula, the first few months were very simple, with obvious signs of a thrown-together product. Its impact can be felt everywhere in 2020, demonstrating how Epic Games has shaped and grown this curious experiment into something seemingly unstoppable. Despite all of its seasonal updates and strange crossovers, Battle Royale remains at the heart of Fortnite. Does the combination of fast-paced gunplay and the erratic building still hold up after all these years? Tell us in the comment section. Halo Infinite. The story of Halo Infinite is captivating, securing up loose ends from previous installments while introducing strong new characters. Combat is simple, but it's still a lot of fun and satisfying, especially now that the grapple shot has been added. While the new generic open-world segments aren't enough to elevate Infinite to the top of the series, they do provide welcome respites between each action-packed linear level that delivers the classic Halo experience. So how do we keep FPS feeling fresh? This was the problem 343 Industries faced while developing Halo Infinite, which came with the added pressure of being the Xbox Series X's flagship game. As Master Chief lands on the Zeta Halo Ringworld in his latest efforts to protect humanity from an alien threat, 343 Industries' solution was to create a new open-world map for players to explore. It's an incredibly interesting move for a show that has previously adhered adamantly to the traditional linear format. However, you'll not be convinced that such a move was entirely successful, as it appears to have fallen into the same traps as games like Far Cry, with recycled objectives and filler content doing little to improve the overall experience. At its core, Halo Infinite is a linear shooter, with the open-world map primarily serving as a hub to seamlessly connect all of the traditional story missions together in an attempt to create a more immersive world. It's an ingenious way to revitalize an aging series while retaining the classic level designs that make Halo feel like Halo. Even though the open-world format fails to lift the series to new heights, it's still a fantastic game with a gripping storyline that neatly wraps up loose ends from previous installments. CSGO. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is more of an update than a true sequel, retaining much of what made the original Counter-Strike and Counter-Strike Source so brilliant, while adding a couple of new game modes based on user-made mods to the original game. Counter-Strike is a completely multiplayer experience, in case you're not familiar. Users can play against AI bots offline, but this is just a simulation of what it's like to play online rather than a true single-player game. The good news is that this is as good as it gets when it comes to multiplayer online shooters. There are 2 types of matches and 2 tiers of play in the traditional game mode. The classic CS modes are perfectly balanced. Games are fast-paced but not overwhelming. Skill is rewarded in both the planning and outfitting stages, as well as in battle, and good teamwork usually triumphs over individual abilities. You'll die at least a few times, which gives you time to observe other players' work, review your own mistakes, and plan for the next round during the downtime. Even watching other players compete can be entertaining in and of itself, as you yell at them to do this or not do that, despite the fact that you know they can't hear you. CSGO adds a lot, changes a lot, and keeps the best parts of the classic multiplayer FPS. You won't find a better shooter, team-based gameplay, or simply well-updated classic games than CSGO right now. Planetside 2. Planetside 2 is a multiplayer first-person shooter that feels like the future of gaming despite being identical in concept to the original Planetside. 3 factions wage eternal war on the ground and in the air across a handful of continents. Planetside was hampered by 2003 technology. Planetside 2 benefits from 9 years of human progress. There are times when you play video games and think to yourself, good golly, gee whiz, or even hot damn. Then there are the times when you are completely speechless. Planetside 2 provides both of these in abundance. It's a fantastic game, hampered only by the fact that it's free to play. While the free-to-play model is far from perfect, it would be difficult to find enough reasons to prevent someone from downloading Planetside 2 and experiencing everything it has to offer. Planetside 2 is never less than breathtaking. It's a spectacle on its own. You can almost take it all in if you stand far enough back, but there's just too much to focus on. Planetside 2 is as beautiful as stars in the night sky, with dogfights in the frigid air, gunfights among the trees of a dense jungle, and tanks dueling across the plains of a red desert. Heroes of the Storm. Considering the roots of the MOBA genre, which were largely influenced by StarCraft and Warcraft 3 mods, it was only a matter of time before Blizzard entered the fray. Heroes of the Storm seems to be another illustration of the developers' high standards. Ideas that have been explored before being refined and made more accessible, resulting in a game that is nearly impossible to dislike. Heroes of the Storm is a fantastic game that combines Blizzard's colorful characters into an engrossing tactical arena game. Heroes of the Storm is a must-play for MOBA fans and Blizzard fans alike. It avoids following in the footsteps of the games that established the genre instead of delivering a beautifully graceful, unique experience with familiar characters. If you don't fit into either of these categories, it's still a fantastic casual competitive game that will keep you entertained for hours. League of Legends. League of Legends is more than just a game, it's a brutally competitive digital sport in which winners roar in triumph and losers whimper in defeat. However, you don't have to be on the same level as the pros to enjoy the thrills of these online battlegrounds. League of Legends is a free-to-play game that combines elements of action role-playing, real-time strategy, and tower defense games into an engrossing amalgam of awesome. Each play session yields a unique and explosive experience. League of Legends is a fantastic game that caters to players of all skill levels. Even though it is preferable to play with friends, if you prefer to keep to yourself, you're not alone. Early on, learning the ropes can be frustrating, but once you're swept away by the ebb and flow, it's difficult to resist the constant thrill of the game's diverse battles. If League of Legends has you hooked, don't be surprised if you spend hundreds of hours competing for digital fame in one of video gaming's best battlegrounds. What are you waiting for? Let the gaming begin. But hey, if you are interested in open-world games, feel free to check out our 15 massive open-world games. See you at the next one!